Welcome back to the channel, Rarest Coins everyone. If you're a coin enthusiast or someone who loves learning about hidden treasures, you're going to want to stick around for this video. Today, we're going to dive into a very special coin, the 1952 Lincoln penny. This penny, which may seem like just another coin from the early 1950s, could be worth far more than its face value. In fact, some of these pennies have been sold for as much as $1.8 million at auction. Yes, you heard that right. This small copper coin could be worth a fortune. Stick with me, and I'll explain the history, rarity, and value of the 1952 Lincoln penny. To start, let's talk a bit about the history behind the Lincoln penny itself. The Lincoln penny was first introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was designed by Victor David Brenner, and its obverse features the iconic portrait of Lincoln, while the reverse originally depicted two stalks of wheat hands. It was known as the wheat penny. The wheat design was used from 1909 to 1958. And it became one of the most beloved designs in American coin history. In 1959, the wheat design was replaced with the current Lincoln Memorial design, but during the 1950s, the wheat pennies remained in circulation, and many were produced in various mint facilities across the United States. The 1952 Lincoln penny was minted in San Francisco, and like other pennies of its era, it was made primarily from copper. So why does the 1952 Lincoln penny stand out from the rest? While most Lincoln pennies from the 1950s are worth only face value or a small premium above that, the 1952 penny is unique because of a particular combination of factors that make it extremely rare and valuable to collectors. The key to the 1952 Lincoln penny's value lies in its rarity and condition. You see, not all 1952 pennies are worth a lot of money. In fact, the vast majority of them are worth only a few cents over face value. However, there are a few specific 1952 pennies that were struck with an unusual flaw, and those coins are what collectors are after. The rare 1952 Lincoln penny is one that features a variety of minting errors, including the famous overmint mark error. An overmint mark occurs when a mint mark such as the S on the 1952 penny is struck over another mint mark. In this case, the S mint mark, which signifies the coin was struck at the San Francisco Mint, was overstruck on top of another mint mark, creating a very distinct error. This is an incredibly rare occurrence, and because of the limited number of coins that were produced with this overmint mark error, the value of these pennies can skyrocket. Coins that exhibit this overmint mark error are extremely difficult to find, and they have become some of the most highly sought-after Lincoln pennies in the coin collecting community. When these rare coins do come up for sale, they can command prices in the thousands or even millions of dollars, depending on the condition and the specific error. Another factor that contributes to the high value of the 1952 Lincoln penny is its condition. As with any coin, the better the condition, the more valuable it is. A coin in mint or near mint condition will typically be worth much more than a heavily worn or damaged coin. The 1952 Lincoln penny is particularly valuable when it is in uncirculated condition, meaning that it has no visible wear and retains its original sharp details. A well-preserved 1952 penny with the overmint mark error has been known to sell for upwards of $1.8 million, making it one of the highest-priced modern U.S. coins. This kind of value isn't something you come across every day, but it goes to show just how much a rare coin can appreciate in value, especially when it has unique characteristics and historical significance. So, how can you identify a 1952 Lincoln penny that could be worth a fortune? The first thing to look for is the mint mark on the obverse of the coin, located just below the date. A regular 1952 penny from the San Francisco Mint will have a clear S mint mark. However, in the case of the overmint mark error, you may see a faint or doubled mint mark. The S will often appear to be overstruck on top of another mint mark, which could make it look like the coin has two mint marks in a small area. This is the telltale sign that you may be looking at one of the rare, valuable 1952 pennies. Of course, examining the condition of the coin is also crucial. A coin that shows signs of wear like scratches, dents, or fading won't be worth as much as one that is in pristine condition. To properly inspect the coin, it's a good idea to use a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe. These tools will help you closely examine the coin for any minting errors or signs of damage that could affect its value. Once you've identified a potential 1952 Lincoln penny with an over-mint mark error, the next step is to have the coin professionally authenticated and graded. This is a crucial step in the process because the value of the coin depends on its authenticity and its condition. A professional coin grading service will carefully evaluate the coin, confirm the presence of the over-mint mark error, and assign it a grade based on its condition. This will give you a clear idea of how much the coin is worth in the current market. If your 1952 Lincoln penny is confirmed to have the over-mint mark error and is in good condition, it could be worth thousands of dollars, or even more if it's in excellent condition. In fact, coins with this error have sold for over $1.8 million at auction, making it one of the most valuable modern U.S. coins. But even without the over-mint mark error, a well-preserved 1952 penny could still be worth a decent amount, depending on its rarity and condition. It's important to remember that the world of coin collecting is always evolving. Coins that were once considered only mildly interesting can suddenly become highly valuable due to new discoveries or renewed interest from collectors. The 1952 Lincoln penny is a prime example of how a rare minting error and excellent condition can combine to create a coin worth a small fortune. In conclusion, the 1952 Lincoln penny is much more than just a coin from the 1950s. It's a rare and valuable piece of American history. If you happen to come across one of these coins, especially one with the over-mint mark error, you could be holding onto a coin worth a lot more than 1 cent. With some of these pennies selling for as much as $1.8 million, it's clear that rare coins can be a great investment. So, take a close look at your coin collections or any loose change you have lying around. You might have a hidden treasure on your hands. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare coins and their fascinating history, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Have you ever found a rare coin or made an incredible discovery? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and happy hunting. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're diving into one of the most fascinating topics in the world of coin collecting, the 1987 Washington quarter dollar. This coin may seem like just another piece of pocket change, but it has a rich history and, believe it or not, certain versions of this coin are worth a fortune. We're talking about a coin worth as much as $1.4 million. Yes, you heard that right. A 1987 Washington quarter could be worth over $1 million. Stick around, because you'll want to know why. The Washington quarter dollar is one of the most iconic coins in American history. First introduced in 1932, the coin was designed to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The design features a portrait of Washington on the obverse, and on the reverse, there's an eagle, a symbol of strength and freedom. The Washington quarter has been in circulation for nearly a century, and over the years, various versions and mint marks have been released. Each of these versions has its own unique characteristics, and some of them are much rarer and more valuable than others. The 1987 Washington quarter is one of those coins that could be hiding in your change jar or a coin collection and could be worth far more than you think. At first glance, a 1987 quarter may seem just like a regular coin from the 1980s, but there's something special about certain versions of this quarter that makes them incredibly valuable. Before we get into the specifics, let's first understand how the 1987 quarter came to be. The D mint mark on the 1987 Washington quarter signifies that this coin was struck at the Denver Mint, one of the U.S. Mint's primary production facilities. The 1987 quarter was part of the standard coinage produced during that time, and it was widely circulated. At the time of its release, The coin had a face value of just 25 cents. But what makes this particular coin so special? The 1987 Washington quarter became famous not because of its design or its widespread production, but because of a rare error that occurred during its minting process. Error coins, especially ones that occur in small quantities, can be worth a great deal of money, and the 1987 quarter is no exception. Some of those quarters were produced with a very specific error that has captured the attention of collectors around the world, the double die variety. A double die occurs when the die used to strike the coin has a flaw, causing certain elements of the design to be stamped more than once. This results in a double image on the coin, often visible in the letters and numbers. In the case of the 1987 Washington quarter, the double die error is most noticeable in the inscriptions on the coin, such as the word Liberty and the date 1987. If you have a 1987 quarter with these doubled features, you could be holding a coin worth a lot more than 25 cents. So, how much could a 1987 Washington quarter with this double die error be worth? Well, that depends on the quality of the coin and the extent of the error. Coins with well-defined doubling, especially those in pristine condition, can fetch a significant amount of money. In fact, some of these error coins have been sold for over $1.4 million at auction. The rarity and the unique nature of the double die error make these coins highly desirable to collectors, driving up their value. If you believe you've found a 1987 Washington quarter with the double die error, there are a few things you should do. First, take a close look at the coin and examine the areas where the doubling is most likely to appear. The word Liberty and the date 1987 are usually the first places to check. You'll want to look for any signs that the letters or numbers appear more than once, or that they seem to be slightly offset. Once you've identified the potential error, the next step is to have the coin professionally authenticated and graded. A reputable coin dealer or grading service can confirm whether your coin is a legitimate double die error and give you an accurate estimate of its value. The condition of the coin plays a huge role in determining its worth. Coins that are well preserved and show little to no wear are much more valuable than those that have been heavily circulated. It's also worth noting that not all 1987 quarters with doubling are worth millions of dollars. The most valuable error coins are those that are in excellent condition, with sharp, clear details and minimal damage. Even if you find a double die quarter, if it's been worn down or damaged, it may not fetch as much as one in mint condition. However, don't let that discourage you. Even if your coin isn't worth millions, it could still be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on the specifics. So, what makes error coins like the 1987 Washington quarter so valuable in the first place? The key is rarity. When a minting error occurs, it's usually only a small number of coins that are affected. Since these error coins are so rare, they become highly sought after by collectors who want to complete their collections with unique, one-of-a-kind pieces. The fact that a 1987 Washington quarter with a double die error is so rare and that it was produced in a time when coins were still being widely circulated only adds to its lure and value. In conclusion, the 1987 Washington quarter is not just another regular coin, it has the potential to be worth a significant amount of money. Thanks to a rare double die error, certain versions of this quarter can be sold for upwards of $1.4 million. If you happen to come across one of those error coins, it could be your ticket to a small fortune. Be sure to examine your coins carefully and don't overlook the possibility of discovering a hidden treasure. If you found this video helpful and interesting, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update on rare coins and valuable finds. Feel free to share any experiences you've had with coin collecting or finding rare coins in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and happy hunting. Welcome back to the channel, Rarest Coins everyone. If you're a fan of coin collecting or just curious about rare coins that could be hiding in your pocket change, today's video is going to blow your mind. We're diving into the world of the 1968 Lincoln penny, a coin that might seem like just another cent from the 1960s, but in reality, it could be worth a fortune. Some 1968 Lincoln pennies have been known to sell for up to $1.4 million at auction. Yes, you heard that right, the $1.4 million. Stick with me as we explore the history of this iconic penny, the factors that make it so valuable, and how you can spot one that could change your life. To start off, let's take a look at the history of the Lincoln penny itself. The Lincoln penny was first introduced in 1909, designed by Victor David Brenner to commemorate the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. The design has become one of the most famous in U.S. coinage history. The obverse features a portrait of Lincoln, while the reverse originally depicted two stalks of wheat, which is why those coins are often referred to as wheat pennies. The wheat design was used on the reverse until 1958, after which it was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial design we see today. In 1968, the U.S. Mint was still producing the Lincoln penny, and like most years, the coin was minted in large quantities for circulation. But while most 1968 pennies are worth little more than their face value, some are worth a lot more, much more. In fact, this brings us to the key focus of today's video, the 1968 Lincoln penny, with a rare variety that has earned it a spot among the most valuable coins in American numismatics. So, what makes the 1968 Lincoln penny worth so much money? The answer lies in a rare minting error known as a double die. A double die error occurs when a coin is struck multiple times by a die that has a flaw, resulting in a design that appears doubled. For the 1968 Lincoln penny, this error affects the date and the inscription Liberty on the obverse. This means that the numbers in the date, as well as the letters in Liberty, will appear doubled or shifted, creating a very noticeable effect on the coin. The doubling is subtle but visible under magnification, and it can significantly increase the coin's value. The 1968 Lincoln penny with a double die error is considered one of the rarest and most valuable modern pennies. This particular error is highly sought after by collectors, which is why the value of these coins can skyrocket. In fact, some 1968 double die Lincoln pennies have sold for as much as $1.4 million at auction, depending on the condition of the coin. These pennies are truly a numismatic treasure, and they have become one of the most prized finds for coin collectors around the world. Rarest coins. But how can you identify a 1968 Lincoln penny with a double die error? The first thing to look for is the date on the obverse of the coin. Examine the numbers carefully. If the 1968 appears to have some doubling where the numbers are not perfectly aligned, and there seems to be a shadow or faint duplicate image of the number, so that could be a sign of the error. Next, take a close look at the word Liberty above Lincoln's portrait. The letters in Liberty will also show signs of doubling if the coin has the double die error. The doubled effect is often very subtle, so it's important to use a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe to carefully inspect the coin. Another area to inspect is the In God We Trust inscription. If the coin has a double die error, the lettering may appear slightly doubled, with parts of the letters seeming to overlap or repeat. It's these small, noticeable details that set the 1968 double die error penny apart from regular pennies, and these characteristics are what make the coin so valuable. Now, let's talk about the condition of the coin. Like all collectible coins, the better the condition, the higher the value. A coin that is in pristine or near mint condition will fetch much more than a coin that is worn or damaged. A 1968 Lincoln penny in excellent condition with the double die error could sell for a small fortune. Even if the coin has some wear, it could still be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on how significant the error is and how well it has been preserved. If you believe you've found a 1968 Lincoln penny with the double die error, the next step is to have it professionally authenticated and graded. Coin grading is essential in determining a coin's value because it evaluates both the authenticity of the coin and its condition. A professional grading service will carefully examine the coin and provide a grade that reflects its quality. Coins that are graded well and are in excellent condition are the ones that are most likely to command top dollar at auction. Once your coin is authenticated and graded, you'll have a much clearer idea of how much it's worth. In some cases, a 1968 double die Lincoln penny can sell for over $1.4 million at auction. However, The value will depend on factors such as the degree of the error, the condition of the coin, and current demand in the market. Keep in mind that a well-preserved 1968 double-die penny is considered a rare find, and its value can continue to rise as time passes, making it a smart investment for coin collectors. It's important to note that not every 1968 Lincoln penny is worth this much money. Most of the pennies from this year, even those with minor errors, are not worth more than a few cents above face value. However, if you happen to stumble upon one of these rare double-die error pennies, it could be a game changer. These coins are a perfect example of how something that seems like just another coin can turn out to be a valuable and sought-after treasure. In conclusion, the 1968 Lincoln penny is a perfect example of how rare minting errors can turn an ordinary coin into a valuable asset. If you find a 1968 penny with the double-die error, you could be holding onto a coin worth a substantial amount of money. These rare coins have sold for as much as $1.4 million, and they continue to be a favorite among coin collectors. So, make sure to inspect your pennies carefully. Whether they're from your collection or from your pocket change, you never know when you might find a hidden gem. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare coins, valuable finds, and the exciting world of numismatics, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Have you ever discovered a rare coin or made an amazing find? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and happy coin hunting. Welcome back to the channel. If you're a coin enthusiast or even just someone who casually checks your pocket change, you're going to want to stick around for this video. Today, we're talking about the 1998p Washington quarter dollar, a coin that might seem like just another quarter but actually holds a huge potential value. Some of these coins have sold for over $1.2 million at auction. Yes, you heard that right. A simple 1998p quarter could be worth more than you ever imagined. Let's dive into the history, the rarity, and the incredible value behind this particular coin. To understand why the 1998p Washington quarter can fetch such a high price, we need to start with the history of the Washington quarter itself. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The coin features a portrait of Washington on the obverse, or front, and an eagle on the reverse, which is a symbol of strength and freedom. This design was created by John Flanagan, and it became a part of everyday American life. Over the decades, the Washington quarter has been produced in various years and mint marks, and each has its own story. These quarters were produced in large quantities, and most are worth only face value, just 25 cents. However, there are always exceptions. Some quarters, especially those with rare errors or special features, are worth far more than that. The 1998p Washington quarter is one of these exceptions, and today we'll explain why. The P mint mark on the 1998p quarter indicates that it was minted in Philadelphia, and that's an important detail for collectors. While many coins are produced in this Philadelphia mint, the 1998p quarter stands out because of a rare and valuable error that occurred during its production. This error, known as a double-die variety, has made some 1998p quarters worth far more than their face value. Let me explain how this happened. A double-die error occurs when a coin is struck multiple times by a die that has a flaw. In the case of the 1998p quarter, this resulted in certain design elements appearing more than once, or doubled. This error typically affects the lettering, such as the word Liberty and the year 1998. The doubling can be subtle, but it's often visible to the naked eye if you know what you're looking for. The result is a coin with a unique, imperfect design, which makes it highly desirable to coin collectors. The fact that this error is so rare is what makes the 1998p Washington quarter so valuable. Most of the 1998p quarters that were produced are standard, with no doubling errors. But because this double-die variety is so uncommon, collectors have been willing to pay extraordinary amounts for these rare coins. In some cases, these quarters have sold for as much as $1.2 million at auction. making them one of the most valuable modern coins in existence. So, how can you tell if you have one of these valuable double-die 1998p Washington quarters? The first thing to do is closely examine the design, especially the inscriptions. Look at the word Liberty and the date 1998. If you notice any doubling, where the letters or numbers appear to be slightly shifted or duplicated, you may have found a coin with the double-die error. You'll want to use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe to inspect the coin more closely, as the doubling can be subtle. It's also important to note that the condition of the coin plays a major role in its value. Coins in mint condition, with clear, sharp details and no visible wear, are worth significantly more than those that have been heavily circulated or damaged. The better the condition of the coin, the more it's likely to fetch at auction. If your 1998p quarter shows clear doubling and is in excellent shape, it could be worth a small fortune. Once you've identified a potential 1998p Washington quarter with a double-die error, the next step is to have it professionally authenticated and graded. It's crucial to get an expert opinion to verify whether the doubling is legitimate and not just wear or other damage. A reputable coin dealer or professional grading service can evaluate your coin and provide you with an accurate estimate of its value. If it's confirmed as a genuine double-die error and is in good condition, you could be sitting on a coin worth thousands, if not millions, of dollars. The reason coins with minting errors like the 1998p double-die quarter are so valuable is due to their rarity. Minting errors are, by their nature, mistakes that happen during the production process. These mistakes are often limited to a small number of coins, which makes them incredibly rare and highly collectible. The more rare and unique a coin is, the higher its value becomes. Coin collectors are always on the lookout for these kinds of errors because they are what make a coin stand out from the rest of the regular, mass-produced ones. Now, you might be wondering, how does this compare to other rare coins in history? Well, the 1998p Washington quarter with a double-die error is a perfect example of how even modern coins can be worth incredible amounts of money. While many collectors focus on older coins, such as rare gold or silver pieces from the 1800s, the 1998p quarter proves that even relatively recent coins can have immense value if they have something special about them. In addition to the double-die variety, there are other Washington quarters and coins from different years and mint marks that are also highly valuable. So, if you're a coin collector or simply someone who enjoys hunting for rare finds, keep an eye out for these special editions. Coins with errors or unique characteristics are always in demand and can be a great investment. In conclusion, the 1998p Washington quarter dollar may seem like just another quarter at first, but if you have one with the double-die error, you could be holding a coin worth a fortune. With the right condition and proper authentication, some of these coins have sold for over $1.2 million. So, check your change and your coin collections carefully, as you never know when you might find a hidden treasure. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare coins, valuable finds, and the exciting world of numismatics, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Have you ever found a rare coin? Or maybe you have questions about coin collecting? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and happy hunting. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. If you're a coin collector or just someone interested in learning about rare coins, today's video is going to be incredibly exciting. We're going to talk about a coin that could be hiding in your collection, your pocket change, or even in a drawer somewhere, and it could be worth a fortune. I'm talking about the 1978 Lincoln penny. While most pennies from 1978 are only worth their face value of 1 cent, there are a select few that are incredibly rare and could sell for over $1.3 million. That's right up, this seemingly ordinary penny could be worth an incredible amount of money if it's the right one. In today's video, we'll dive deep into the history of the Lincoln penny, what makes the 1978 penny so special, and how you can identify the rare versions that are worth a fortune. So let's get started. First, let's take a brief look at the history of the Lincoln penny itself. The Lincoln penny has been part of American coinage since 1909. Designed by Victor David Brenner to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Over the years, the design of the penny has evolved, but the iconic portrait of President Lincoln on the obverse and the reverse design featuring the Lincoln Memorial, which replaced the original wheat design in 1959, have remained staples of U.S. currency. By 1978, the penny had undergone some changes in terms of design and production. It was still struck primarily in copper, and the reverse side featured the Lincoln Memorial, which had been the standard design since 1959. However, while most Lincoln pennies minted in 1978 are not particularly valuable, there are some notable exceptions, and that's what makes the 1978 penny so interesting. So, what exactly makes the 1978 Lincoln penny worth so much money? The key to its value lies in a very rare and specific minting error, known as a double die error. A double die error happens when a coin is struck multiple times by a die that has a flaw, which causes the design to be imprinted more than once. This results in a doubling effect on certain parts of the coin's design, such as the letters, numbers, or even the portrait of the figure on the obverse. For the 1978 Lincoln penny, this error often affects the date and the inscription Liberty, making the coin much more valuable to collectors. In the case of the 1978 Lincoln penny, the doubling is often seen on the year 1978 and the word Liberty. If you closely examine the coin and notice that the numbers in the date are slightly shifted or doubled, then you may have one of these rare error coins. The same can be true for the word Liberty above Lincoln's portrait. If it looks like the letters are slightly doubled, that's another sign that you may have found a double die error penny. The reason these double die error pennies are so valuable is because they are extremely rare. Minting errors are uncommon, and when they do occur, only a small number of coins are typically affected. As a result, these error coins are highly prized by collectors, especially those who specialize in rare or misprinted U.S. coins. A 1978 Lincoln penny with the double die error is an example of a coin that can be worth far more than its face value. Now, you might be wondering, how can you spot a 1978 Lincoln penny with the double die error? The first thing to do is examine the coin carefully, particularly the date and the word Liberty on the obverse of the coin. The doubling will often be very subtle, so it's essential to use a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe to get a close-up view of the coin's details. Look for any signs of doubling or shadowing in the numbers of the year and the letters in Liberty. If the doubling is noticeable, then you've likely found a rare double die error penny. If you believe you have found a 1978 Lincoln penny with this error, the next step is to have the coin authenticated and graded by a professional coin grading service. Authentication is critical because the value of a coin can only be determined once it's confirmed to be a genuine minting error. A professional grading service will also assess the condition of the coin. The better the condition, the more valuable the coin is likely to be. Coins in uncirculated or mint condition are far more valuable than coins that show signs of wear or damage. A well-preserved 1978 Lincoln penny with the double die error has been known to sell for as much as $1.3 million at auction. That's right up, this small coin could potentially be worth a fortune. But even if your coin isn't worth quite that much, it could still command a significant price, depending on how well preserved it is and the rarity of the error. Collectors are always on the lookout for those types of rare error coins, and having one in your possession could be a game changer. Aside from the double die error, there are other factors that can contribute to the value of a 1978 Lincoln penny. The condition of the coin is one of the most important factors. Coins in mint or near mint condition are much more valuable than those that have been heavily circulated. A penny that is free from scratches, dents, and discoloration will generally command a higher price than a coin that has been worn down over time. Coins that have been professionally graded and authenticated by trusted services tend to fetch higher prices at auction because they come with verified documentation. It's also important to mention that not every 1978 Lincoln penny is worth thousands or millions of dollars. In fact, most 1978 pennies are still only worth their face value. The key takeaway here is that the 1978 Lincoln penny with the double die error is the rare exception, and if you find one, you could be sitting on a small treasure. So, what should you do if you think you've found one of these rare coins? Start by carefully examining the penny to see if there are any signs of a double die error. If you spot the error, take the time to protect and preserve the coin and store it in a safe, dry place, and avoid handling it too much to prevent further damage. Then, have the coin authenticated and graded by a professional coin grading service to confirm its rarity and value. In conclusion, the 1978 Lincoln penny is much more than just a piece of U.S. currency. If you find a rare double die error version of this penny, it could be worth a fortune, up to $1.3 million or more, depending on the condition and rarity of the error. While most 1978 pennies are not worth much, the possibility of finding one of these rare error coins makes it an exciting hunt for coin collectors and enthusiasts alike. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare coins, valuable finds, and the world of numismatics, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Have you ever found a rare coin or made an exciting discovery in your collection? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and happy coin hunting. Welcome back to the channel, Rarest Coins Coin Enthusiasts. If you've been into collecting coins for a while, or if you're just starting to dive into this fascinating hobby, you're in for a treat today. We're going to talk about a coin that could be hiding in your collection or even in your pocket change, and it could be worth a life-changing amount of money. I'm talking about the 1969 Lincoln penny. While most 1969 pennies are worth only a few cents over face value, there's a rare variety of this coin that has been known to sell for as much as $1.5 million. Yes, you heard that right, a single penny from 1969 could be worth over $1 million. In today's video, we're going to explore the history of the Lincoln penny, what makes the 1969 version so special, and how you can identify if you have one that could make you a fortune. So, let's jump right in and learn about this incredible coin. The history of the Lincoln penny. Before we dive into the specifics of the 1969 Lincoln penny, let's take a quick look at the history of the Lincoln penny itself. The Lincoln penny was first introduced in 1909, designed by Victor David Brenner to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The design has remained largely the same over the years, with Lincoln's iconic portrait on the obverse and the reverse featuring various designs, including the wheat stalks, on the so-called wheat pennies, until 1958. In 1959, the reverse design was changed to feature the Lincoln Memorial, which we continue to see today on most modern pennies. By 1969, the Lincoln penny was firmly established as one of the most popular and widely circulated coins in the United States. The coin was still made primarily of copper, and in 1969, it was struck at 3 different U.S. mint locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The 1969 penny was produced at the Denver Mint, and most of these pennies are fairly common and worth only face value. However, some 1969 pennies are very different and they are worth far more. The 1969 Lincoln penny, a rare treasure. So, what makes the 1969 Lincoln penny so special? The answer lies in a very rare and extremely valuable error that occurred during the minting process. Specifically, some 1969 pennies were struck with the double die error, which makes the coin look like it has a double or shifted design. In the case of the 1969 penny, the most noticeable doubling occurs on the obverse, particularly with the date and the word Liberty. This means that you'll see a slight duplication or shadowing of the numbers in the year 1969 and the letters in Liberty above Lincoln's portrait. The effect may be subtle, but under magnification, the doubling is very clear. This kind of error is caused by a flaw in the minting process, where the die used to strike the coin has an issue that causes the design to be struck multiple times, resulting in a double appearance. This double die error is not something that happens very often, and when it does occur, it only affects a small number of coins. In the case of the 1969 Lincoln penny, only a small percentage of the coins struck at the Denver Mint in 1969 feature this double die error. The rarity of these double-die error pennies is one of the key factors that drives their value. Coins with this error are highly sought after by collectors, and when one of these 1969D pennies surfaces at an auction, it can fetch incredible prices. Some of these coins have sold for as much as $1.5 million, making them one of the highest-priced modern U.S. coins. How to identify the rare 1969D double-die penny. Now that we know what makes the 1969D Lincoln penny so valuable, let's talk about how you can identify one if you happen to come across it. The first thing you should do is take a close look at the obverse of the coin, particularly the year and the word Liberty. Use a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe to carefully examine these areas of the coin. Look at the date 1969. If you notice that the numbers appear to be doubled or there's a shadowy outline around each digit, then you may have found one of the rare double-die error coins. Similarly, examine the word Liberty above Lincoln's portrait. The letters should appear clearly, but if you see any doubling, it could indicate that the coin has the error. In some cases, you might also notice a faint doubling in the words "In God We Trust," but the most noticeable doubling will typically be on the date and the word Liberty. Keep in mind that the doubling is often very subtle, so it's essential to inspect the coin carefully with the right tools. It's important to remember that not every 1969D penny is a double-die error coin. Most of them are perfectly normal and only worth a few cents above face value. That's why it's crucial to know what you're looking for when inspecting a 1969D penny, as only a small number of these coins feature the error. What makes the 1969D double-die penny so valuable? You might be wondering, why are these coins so valuable? The main reason is their rarity. Double-die errors are not common, and when they do occur, they only affect a small number of coins in each production run. The 1969D double-die penny is one of the most famous error coins in modern U.S. numismatics, and collectors are willing to pay a premium to get their hands on one of these rare pieces of history. In addition to their rarity, the 1969D double-die pennies are incredibly valuable because they come from an era when coins were still being produced in large quantities but before modern error detection techniques were in place. This means that many of these rare coins were circulated for years before collectors began to recognize their value, making them even more sought after today. The combination of rarity, historical significance, and the desire of collectors to own one of these unique coins is what makes the 1969D double-die penny worth so much money. Coins that have been authenticated and graded by a professional grading service can command incredible prices, and some of the highest quality specimens have sold for as much as $1.5 million at auction. How to sell your 1969D double-die penny. If you happen to find the 1969D Lincoln penny with the double-die error and it's in excellent condition, you could be sitting on a small fortune. But before you start dreaming about your windfall, it's important to have the coin professionally authenticated and graded by a reputable coin grading service. A professional service will evaluate the coin's authenticity and condition and assign a grade based on factors like wear, scratches, and overall appearance. The higher the grade and the better the condition, the more valuable the coin will be. Once the coin is graded, you can take it to an auction house or coin dealer, or even list it for sale through specialized online platforms where rare coins are bought and sold. If your coin is authenticated as a genuine 1969D double-die penny and is in excellent condition, you could potentially sell it for hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars. Conclusion: the 1969D Lincoln penny is a perfect example of how a small mistake at the mint can lead to a coin that is worth far more than its face value. If you find a 1969D penny with the rare double-die error, you could be holding onto a treasure that could be worth $1.5 million or more. Whether you're a seasoned coin collector or just starting out, the 1969D double-die penny is one of the most exciting finds you can hope for. So, next time you go through your coin collection or check your spare change, Keep an eye out for this rare and valuable penny. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare coins and how to identify valuable treasures, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Have you ever found a rare coin in your collection? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and happy coin hunting.